sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent, but be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NC2A, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Good afternoon, everyone, and there's the players. Hello and welcome to Brebeuf Jesuit High School for the East-West Showcase game brought to you by the IHSLA and Indiana SRN. That's us. I'm Jonathan, and we're joined in the booth with Byron Stankus and Steve Kinney. Steve will be venturing around the venue getting comments and really his thoughts as the game progresses. But this one, it's an interesting day. It is Championship Saturday in the IHSLA, and we're excited for that. Two great competitors for the play for the crown this year, Hamilton Southeastern and Cathedral, both winning last night. Cathedral taking down Garin Catholic 10-5, Hamilton Southeastern downing Carmel 10-6. But before we get to the fireworks of this evening, a little bit more lighthearted affair with the East-West Showcase game. Gentlemen, Byron, welcome back to the booth.
Welcome back. Thanks for having me. It seems like we're having another great day out here. We just checked the radar, and it looks like all the rain that we anticipated here in the south has moved north of us. So at least for this showcase, doesn't look like anything's on the way. So I think that's great. And one of the things I'd like to talk about here is this is a showcase game. This is a particularly unique thing that we do here in Indiana at the IHSLA, is that we give every single team that participates in the IHSLA an opportunity to send one player to here. So some teams are going to send their best players. You're going to see players out here that are all Americans. Some teams are going to be sending their up and coming players or a new player that they want to have this kind of experience. So we're going to see all kinds of levels of play. And the great thing is these are coached by a couple of the better coaches that are out there, especially the ones that are up and coming, including Coach of the Year Joe Laird from Crown Point.
As you were saying, beautiful day for weather, mid-80s. It's clear skies mostly. It's kind of a banner a couple of weeks for the weathermen of Central Indiana. They nailed the 500 predictions.
They did nail the 500
predictions. Nailed
that. They absolutely did.
100% chance of rain? Nope. Great rain. Chance for rain here this afternoon? None so far. But that's going to be good for you, Steve. Are you looking forward to this one?
I definitely am looking forward to it. Having coached against and with several of these players throughout the years, to see them all in the same field together against hopefully future top players in the state.
Well, excellent. Let's look at some of those players. Starting, Byron, I'll just have you guys look. Well, I don't want to say it. Who are you looking forward to seeing today? Because we have our rosters before us, and there's some excellent players, several all-state players. I count 4 first-teamers are here today. We got more honorable mention second-teamers. We got the whole slew of Run the Gambit. Who are some guys you're looking forward to?
Well, the guy I'm really looking forward to is Harmon Surratt. He is an attackman out of Evansville Memorial. He is the leading scorer. He has now set the single-season record for most points in a season and has set the record for most goals. He has 142 goals, 42 points, and a total of 184. So that looks like an offensive guy I want to keep paying attention to. Steve?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the defense on the west side. You got the Duffy twins. Michael Duffy, first-team All-State goalie. Martin Duffy, All-State honorable mention defender. When I look at the matchup, I look at the players, the offensive players on the East team versus the defensive players on the West team, and I really think that's where this game is going to come down to.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have guys on the East, that offensive powerhouse. You're going to have Aiden Craig from Heritage Christian. You're going to have Mason Otto, who's an All-American coming out of Westfield. Aiden Richardson, who was the leading scorer at Noblesville and a workhorse of a player, as well as John Bellflower we saw last night from Garin. So when you're talking about the East's firepower, I think that's exactly what we're going to get. To complement that, the West is going to have Harmon Surratt, so hopefully he can equalize that.
I thought something interesting you just said is that John Bellflower being here, and another one of the semi-finalists, Tom Sprates, is here, and it's not necessarily common to see players who played in the Final Four return for the showcase, but we got a couple.
Especially after a loss. I mean, Tom Sprates had a tremendous game. He was their workhorse for Carmel. He's going to be playing in white in the West. He'll be number 14. So in the West, 4 and 14 are big ones to look for. And and Bellflower coming out as well. So it's really good for kids after a loss to be able to come back out here and get back to the game and help out the younger kids coming up and give us a good showcase.
And it's a nice display of sportsmanship too. Not only just giving back to the game, but doing that and coming out here and showcasing yourself. And we said in the broadcast last night that Tom is going to IU, uncertain whether he's going to be playing or not. But we're going to see from them more in a little bit. You're watching the East-West Showcase game here on Indiana SRN.
In today's fast-moving business world, effectively marketing your company takes hard work, creativity, and the right team. With over 40 years of experience, PIP has been enabling companies large and small to find success in achieving their business objectives. we understand the challenges our clients face. That's why we have a variety of print solutions suited to fit your every need. Whatever your printing request may be, from a quick turnaround on a company brochure for an upcoming trade show, a direct mail piece that needs to be designed, printed, and mailed, to complex marketing projects, PIP is sure to have the right print solution for you. Nothing grabs attention like a well-crafted sign. It can transform virtually any surface into an eye-catching experience, boosting your marketing appeal. From banners, posters, floor graphics, and window decals, to wayfinding and yard signs. We not only help with sign design and getting it installed, we also integrate them into your overall marketing strategy, designed to help you win. PIP also provides best-in-class integrated marketing solutions to help you make the most out of your next campaign. Our approach to marketing ensures that your strategy is seamlessly executed across all media, online and offline, so your business always looks its best. At PIP, we understand it takes a team to achieve business growth, and that's why we're here to help. Get to know PIP and let us make your world a better place.
Welcome back, everyone. We see the players getting introduced. I'm Jonathan Mathis. To my right is Byron Stankus and Steve Kinney. It's a beautiful day for lacrosse. This is the East-West Showcase game here from the IHS LA, and we have this evening something we're all looking forward to. Byron, the championship game, an interesting matchup, a strong matchup, and none better than right at the face-off X.
Well, right at the face-off X, yeah. We're actually looking at the two most recent champions going head-to-head, so we'll see who the winner is there. And we saw a couple of plays last night. We got an opportunity to see Sam Bedich, the face-off midi for Cathedral, pretty much dominate the play of that there at the face-off X. And we're going to look at Tony Cassiri, who was number 2 in All-State at the face-off X. So we're going to see a battle of number 1, number 2 at the face-off X. And the face-offs are so important in those cases, especially in a championship game, because that's really how you win possessions and control the tempo of the game. So that's going to be big. And I thought you and I had a conversation just a minute ago about how number 7, Tanner, did really well for both teams. The difference is both teams have a guy named Tanner number 7, but they have different last names.
Yeah, that was interesting, where it just seemed very serendipitous that the number 7s were so strong yesterday. And I mean, that's Tanner, good counting cards combination, good everything.
Exactly. Tanner Williams for HSE and Tanner Dunwoody for Cathedral. So that was really interesting for the two of them to step up. It's nice to see those guys who are like not the premier players on their team, but the second level guys really step in, and it was great to see that. And I look forward to a lot more of that. I expect that. But we're looking for underdogs in that game to rise. But this game that we're going to see right here, this showcase here, as the kids are getting introduced by the PA announcer, this is the game where you get to see some underdogs. You're going to see some underclassmen here who are going to get a chance to shine against some better talent, and you're going to see some kids from schools that have our first, second year, third year programs completely and have only had sticks in their hands for a year or two. And we're going to see some guys that are all Americans that are going to go on to play in college lacrosse. So it's going to be a great mix, and we're going to see how this all goes.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to ask you about, actually, is how young lacrosse is in Indiana. You look at it in college level, really the Midwest, where you have so many programs are on the college level in their third, in their fourth, fifth years.
Correct.
And it's a young sport in that context. You have some programs in the state that have been around and well established, like one of the finalists, Cathedral. You have one that's up and coming, HSE.
Yep.
You have
HSE's up and coming. HSE's actually been around a while. It's just only recently that they've been able to play at this level. That's a credit to their youth program, the development of their youth program. That was spearheaded a couple of years ago by Pete Snyder, whose kid then went on, interestingly, to play at Cathedral. So Pete Snyder and Mike O'Rourke were really instrumental in the youth program developing there, and then Andy Gruber and his staff has been good there at Cathedral for a long time. But we only started lacrosse here in 1997, I believe, was the first year we had really organized lacrosse, and it didn't start the IHSLA till 1998. So our 1999 was the first championship that was played that Culver won, beating Park Tudor, and we've only been going since then. So really, 21 years is not a long stretch to do that, but it is young, and we're still growing. We started with 8 teams back in 1999, and we now have 52 teams playing and represented here on the field as we get ready for the face-off.
The face-off X in the dark jersey, that's Aiden Craig from Heritage Christian. And I think, just want to let our producer know, I think Steve Kinney on the sideline, he has something he wants to say about one of his former players.
Yeah, Aiden Craig. Aiden Craig is a former player of mine. Junior.
Or hold on, he doesn't have his mic working yet. His one player falls down.
Yeah, this is going to be great to kind of watch some of this play as you watch these guys battle for a ground ball. I think we're going to see a lot of these scrums on the ground because you're going to get a variation of talent as the aforementioned Aiden Craig actually comes running down the field with the ball.
His ears are burning as he streaks across the field and dumps it across and a little bit out of play for Caden Anderson, a very good player in his own right from Center Grove.
Yeah, Center Grove actually has been represented very well. They'll have a player this game, but they were also represented well in the All-State, both first, second team, and honorable mention. Aiden Craig is playing this game a little bit of face-off, a little bit of midi. He actually played attack for nice interception right here as it come down. Played attack for Heritage Christian and Steve Kinney.
That was Ryan Hunt from Bloomington North. And say Steve, can you hear us now? Is your mouth working?
I can hear you. Can
oh,
you
hey,
hear me?
yes.
Oh, there we go.
That
hey.
sounds better.
Yeah, as Byron said, Aiden was not a face-off guy for us. He was our second face-off guy. Played mostly attack. It looks like the coaches have him playing midfield today, which is good as he prepares for his summer circuit of touring colleges and performing for college coaches.
And one of those things that one of those players that you mentioned earlier is in goal in white right now is Michael Duffy. This is an exceptional goaltender, my friends. Keep an eye on him. He is very active and does a real good job talking. And I think it was a bit of a miss there that he didn't get All-American.
Here's Duncan McCourt from Zionsville, and he's passes well wide. Anderson looking to range it down. I want to talk about just Center Grove and all. It seems like whenever Center Grove, when they get their mindset on a sport, they can become a powerhouse, whether it's football. Here's a nice save by Duffy is inside his penny. But Center Grove, that could be a potential powerhouse going forward where when they got their mindset on football, they got really good. When they got their mindset on basketball, they got really good. They get really good at things quickly.
Yeah, at Center Grove, they actually, a couple of years ago, had a coach named Connie Komarovsky down there who had done a real good job starting the program and bringing it along. And then they just had some internal strife, and there was some falling out with the school, and then they've had to regroup. So they're kind of in a rejuvenated era here. So, yeah, definitely one of those programs, hopefully with the coaching and the youth program moving forward. I think that's the key. There we see a goal.
Nice shot. That I believe that was Trey Gammon, senior from Brownsburg, number 18 in white.
Was it 18 in white?
I believe it was.
This was 18.
I thought it was.
I thought, okay, either way, but that was a great little play if we take a look at that. But was it Surratt?
With the goal.
It was Harmon Surratt, the senior from
18 with
Evansville
the
Memorial.
assists.
18 with the assist. So there's exactly one of those goals that we talked about. They were able to feed him, and that's a tough one to save. They were able to take that shot right at the doorstep there.
So we have Craig. Will be back in face-off X. And I believe...
And bear with us,
Westfield
folks.
player.
Yeah, there are
Shannon
no
Bola.
numbers on the front for us, so we are just looking at the numbers at the back.
It is Shannon Bola from Westfield.
And both guys flinched. They gave it to Bola there. So Westfield is number 5 face-off guy. They're facing off with a long stick. I think that's fun to watch.
Here comes
The West offense.
the West squad. Working around number 3. That's Jake Blair from Crown Point.
You're going to see a lot of guys here, just individual one-man shows like this, and then if they get in trouble, they hopefully find someone and we see a shot go wide. So you're definitely going to see a lot of circle offense. There's not a lot of guys in the crease, and they're just definitely going to be trying to beat their guy one-on-one and do what we're supposed to do here and showcase their talents.
From behind the cage, popping out and playing it away is Harmon Surratt, number 4. He got the first goal, and this one's out of play.
Boy, that kid's shifty, though. I mean, you just watch him. He kind of dodged through there. He faked a pass, pulled it out, faked a pass again, and then took a shot. So he's fun to watch as the West keeps their offense moving here. They're just going to pass it around.
And lose it momentarily. Going back to regain it, that's Clayton Street from Lafayette Harrison. One thing I think is pretty cool, it's understandable and definitely a way, but you see a lot of the bigger communities in Indiana, Evansville and up north and Indianapolis area, where they all have schools represented on here. There's several from Evansville down in the pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Got several from Lafayette. And that's a good sign if you're going to want to grow a sport in the state. You're going to want to get those population centers involved, and then it can then trickle out to the more smaller communities.
Yeah, and that's really what's obviously started as the hub here in Indianapolis is where that's going. As we see a battle through the midfield here of kids trying to get it through. Aiden Craig all over the place. They're trying to make a play as we get Bellflower from Guerin picking up that ball. But yeah, that's part of the growth, right? You're always going to start in the urban areas and work to the rural areas. And Indiana is one of those things where we have more public schools than we do have private schools, and a lot of states have really started lacrosse in the private school area, and we took pride very early on that we were about even private schools and public schools when we started, and now it's almost dominated by the public schools.
Check down with Steve. Steve, you have something you want to add? No?
Nope. Okay.
No, he's good.
I guess he's good. We were looking for the East to really dominate there with the offense, but it looks like the West here has been able to control the ball a little bit, and it's kind of we got guys cutting through and making passes inside, and I think that's good to see. Again, we're going to see a lot of these scrums. Look at all those fakes that Surratt throws. Look at that. And an outstanding save.
Shifty. Nice play.
Yeah, that's Jalen Carr in goal with a great save. So I think a player like Harmon Surratt, I've only watched him here for a little bit here, but I think this is an environment that he's going to thrive.
Steve, you can kind of see why he's had so much acclaim. Harmon Surratt, honorable mention this year.
Yeah, watching him play, he reminds me of a player who hit honorable mention last year named Aiden Itamora. Aiden Itamora started his career at a less of a powerhouse at Lawrence North and moved to Brebeuf. He plays very shifty, quick, has a great motor, and this is just from the first 5 minutes of the game watching him. I really like what I'm seeing so far from him.
Yeah, it's real fun to watch that.
And that's one of the things, as you said earlier, it's something you get to see in these contests, these showcase. You get to see a little bit of everybody. You get to see some of those great players. You get to see some guys who are playing with some of the best competition they've got to play with. Good exposure for the young players that are that are out here today. And working the ball right now is Blair from Crown Point. Sends it down. Shifty move by number 18 in white, and off the leg was Trey Gammon's shot. He had the assist on the first play.
Yeah, Trey Gammon out of Brownsburg, that's another one of those up-and-coming programs. They've only had a varsity program here for 3 years, but I think they finished 20th in the state rankings, so they're moving up. And we got a goal there. Nice play. So looks like the white team here is from Hamburg. Looks like number 7 on the goal.
That would be number 7 in white is Grant Stern from Evansville Rights,
Nice.
junior attackman.
So
There's one of those big cities coming through, Evansville.
Evansville. So Evansville is on the board twice here for the East. Interesting that they're in the East, aren't they? In the lower west corner there.
Well, yeah. We'll work out the geography later.
Well, yeah. I think as long as they balance up the teams pretty well, I think we're going to be happy with it. So
about 6 minutes left in this opening quarter. Face off. White team, 2-0 lead. Filled up on the far side of the field, and one of the cooler helmets is Cameron Markley in Argos, that bronze. There's a few good ones.
So,
Speaking of which, number 22 in black, or in the dark color, also has a nice one.
Yeah, I think you have a little bit of bias towards those gold helmets, I've heard.
I do have a bias towards the gold helmets. But that's okay.
That's all right. We're allowed to have them. I personally like the red, but that's has nothing to do with anything other than I like the red. Although the purple Guerin ones I think are pretty cool as well.
Those are pretty sharp. The caramel ones are easy to spot. You can see Tom Sprates on the sideline with his yellow.
Yep, and we saw Aiden Craig's metallic chrome there with blue highlights. That's a really cool helmet.
That's a favorite of Steve Kinney.
Yeah, I wonder why. wonder why that's a Steve Kinney favorite.
Well, it's his favorite because actually it was Aiden Craig who picked out the helmet for our team this year.
Oh wow, that's outstanding.
And our team is Heritage Christian, for the record.
Oh, I
That's what
apologize.
he's
Yes,
saying.
I am the former Heritage Christian head coach.
It's hard for me to pick a favorite, to be honest with you, because I coached at Park Tudor, I coached at Rebuff, I coached at Hamilton Southeastern, and most recently coached at Noblesville. So, I can't
That's a
necessarily
full
pick
color
one.
palette.
That is a full color palette. I personally like the red, white, and blue of University of Arizona where I played. So that's really where my heart goes.
Wildcat.
Would go back. Yep.
You're
Wildcats.
very well. It's a little human. Here's a shot. Nice save. Batted down. The defense will swivel it out of the way. That was Breslin Lawton from Castle, the long stick number 1.
And
in white.
Duffy's gonna absorb all those shots. That's gonna be it's
Another
gonna be an
shot.
easy day of work for him.
And he's playing very well. He's not playing like it's a showcase game. He's playing like this is the real. For all the marbles.
I've seen him a couple of times, and that's just the way he plays. He plays like that. He plays like that in warm-ups. He plays like that in practice, and he's clearly playing like that even in a showcase game. So it's a credit to his mentality.
Working it inside and losing the ball. And there was the aforementioned Braden Lawton, number 1 in white. Duffy will send it out to the side to Kevin Folk from Chesterton.
Yeah, what I like to see is these clears that we're seeing here. On both teams, we've been able to have the long poles be able to clear it. And sometimes in these showcase games, you have the long stick defenders are really good defenders, but don't have actually great stick skills. But clearly, the talent level has grown substantially here in the state of Indiana, so that we're getting more well-rounded players on both ends of the field, and I like to see that.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. That's what you're hoping to see in these type of situations. Another goal? Was that Surratt again?
Surratt again. So,
Oh, he's on fire.
well, do we expect the guy who holds the record for most goals in the state to be anything but that?
Shockingly, that's exactly what I expect.
It is.
You nailed
Oh, okay. How about that?
That's exactly what I was figuring.
I guess I wasn't trying to fool you there at all. Yeah. So.
I was Johnny on the spot.
Woof.
Literally, that is my name. I'm Jonathan Mathis. Here's the replay of it,
Oh,
really
excellent.
quickly.
We'll see that replay come as we hear.
I think it would.
Oh, okay, we got it. So
Anyway, I'm Jonathan Mathis. Byron Stinkus, Steve Kinney are with you, and our cast of literally a half dozen bringing you this game. We're happy to have you with us. Happy to have lacrosse here on Indiana SRN. As we see at the face-off X, I know in the dark color, that is Logan Mobusser from Park Tudor. And that is our Westfield friend.
yeah, Westfield.
In white.
Yeah, facing off with a long stick again. I love to watch this. This is fun.
Shannon
And,
Bola.
Park Tudor is another one of those programs that back in the day used to be really strong and has sort of ebbed with the emergence of places like Carmel and Cathedral. Used to be sort of the Culver Park Tudor show back in the day, and then Carmel, Zionsville, and HSE have sort of come on with Cathedral and kind of done that. And it's nice to see that as when you see a team like Park Tudor sort of ebb, you then get, look at these dodging.
Oh,
Look
nice
at this
move.
Oof, American. Out of
Winding
Westfield.
up. Nice shot. Good save by Duffy.
Yeah, Duffy's just gonna, like I said, if you're not inside of about 10 yards, I think he's just gonna take those things away. So it's gonna be excellent watching him as the West gets to set up the offense again.
Behind the cage. Steve, you like the pace of play so far in this one?
I do like the pace of play. I'm worried that the weather's going to wear these guys out in the second half, but it's what we expected. Guys trying to go one-on-one, beat them, shoot from 20 yards, make it look pretty. But for Duffy and the East team or West team, he's making it impossible for anybody from the East to look good right now.
Looks like we're going to back that one up. But, he went over and back. That's a tough goal. Earlier, we got to see Harmon
Brandon
Surratt.
Ward from Lawrence North.
Yeah, we got to see behind the back pass there that Harmon Surratt threw. I think most of these kids aren't ready for kids to have that ball come at them from that direction, so it's tough. But Aiden Craig playing defense here for the East and getting the offense started here. Fella from Brownsburg.
Get inside. Look at the purple. The purple and
He's got
gray.
Yeah, purple
I
and
guess.
gray. The
Deep
Bulldogs. Yep.
Now from
Bulldogs
behind the cage, that's Surratt firing. Nice save
Well, the
by
thing
Jalen Carr.
I think I like to see with Surratt there is he actually has also made a couple of passes too. So he's not just trying to score; he's actually trying to assist as well. Look at this rush here by Mason Otto. Just
Oh, nice
that
pass.
Oh.
Just a little bit closer, and Nick Adkins would have had it.
I think he picks up the ground ball. Look at that. He made the bad pass and then ran all the way across the field to pick up his bad pass and retain possession. So
I'm going to correct myself. That was Aaron Niger, the number 24 in the dark number 24.
yeah. So Mason Otto here is just shifty
Look
little
at him go.
kid. Yeah. Look at that. Wow. Just shifty, and finding the way to get a shot off. It's going to have to do something special to get by Duffy though. So.
He's trying.
Yeah,
Duffy has just been stout so far.
Yeah, I mean between Duffy and then Otto and Harmon, Surratt, I think this is there's some really good showcase plays here for sure.
Working to collect that ground ball, number
25.
25. That is Wade Garrett from LaPorte.
And then we got a loose ball hold here, so
There's Tommy Sprates, you saw last night.
yeah. Oh, has he got a brace on?
He does.
They had that listed not as Tommy
Huh.
Sprates.
That is, I don't think that's Tommy Sprates. Tommy Sprates looks taller to me. At 14, looks like that's somebody else. We're going to send
Work it
somebody
around.
down there to try.
More effort. More
Yeah,
effort.
we're gonna.
That is Eric Allen.
Oh, that is Eric Allen.
Oh, okay.
Well, anyway, so not Tommy Sprates, so I guess he's not here, but Eric Allen is.
Eric Allen. So, well, it's good to see Eric Allen, who played last night, out here, even with a bit of an ankle brace. So, he's going to go on and play at Canisius. So, we'll see how that. His brother went there. His Mark went there. His dad's one of the JV assistants as well there at Carmel. So, good to see him out here.
Working and weaving through the defense is Duncan McCourt from Zionsville, and he looks to set up with the dodge underhand, and that shot is wide, and chasing it down. Who else? Michael Duffy.
Yeah, that's an interesting Zionsville helmet. I haven't seen their white helmet.
Have
with
you
the
not?
green. No, they usually have a gray
Yeah,
and they
silver.
have a green.
We like the silver.
silver, yeah.
I'm a Zionsville Eagle, but yeah, the white has worked its way into the ensemble.
Well, yeah,
Martin
yeah.
Duffy with
I
the
hadn't
ball.
seen it on the lacrosse team. I had seen it on football. As we got another turnover here.
Ross.
Really
Yeah,
interested to.
two whole seconds left, and now we go to the end of the first quarter. It is 3-0 favor of the white team, and we're going to be back in a moment here on Indiana SRN. We are always in the game.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Welcome back, everyone. Beautiful day for lacrosse, and we got the East-West Showcase game. I'm Jonathan Mathis. Byron Stankus is to my right. Joining us back up in the booth is Steve Kinney. Steve, it's a good day to go out and get a suntan, I would say.
It is a gorgeous day for a suntan. I myself have lathered up with the suntan lotion because it's summertime. I want to get a nice bronze on.
TMI.
Hey, you know what? That's good. It's always a great thing to aspire to.
A good
And
tan.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
A good tan.
I mean, if you can do it.
Do you get good tans?
No, I have red hair and Irish skin, so not really. I do a little bit, but it looks like slightly less pale.
Yeah, I actually, when I was younger, I could get a really, really deep tan, and people made to think that I was Native American sometimes. So it probably was the mohawk I had in high school as well. So
You know what? It's an understandable mistake that people had.
it's also the big nose, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, I spent a lot of time outdoors this spring coaching, but with all of the cloud cover and rain we had, we did not get a lot of chance for sun this year.
Yeah, it was definitely a cloudy, rainy, windy year. I got to see a couple of games, and cold and wind and rain, and boy, it was tough going for those teams. And I think it really kept the level of play tight in those games because of that. Because in bad weather, it really you can have a blowout. So looks like the kids are back out on the field and getting lined up here for the face-off.
We got a new goalie for the West.
Okay, so that
we
looks
do.
like Kevin
Michael
Smith.
Duffy is out.
So Kevin Smith from North Central.
That was definitely not performance-based decision.
So we have the West. The West is up 3-0 here. So we'll look at the second quarter and see if that will change.
And something to note, the East has one goalie currently listed on the roster. It's Jalen Carr. He's going to still be in the cage. Number 6 in dark.
Yeah, from Leo.
Here's working
Which is
across.
another one of those new programs. Love to see that expansion of the game here.
And they generally have strong sports teams in most contexts. Leo does.
It takes a little while for first you got to get the high school kids to buy into it, and those kids will start playing when they're freshmen. And then once it's sort of established that, yes, this is going to stick around, then the real game is to build a youth program starting all the way down to about 3rd and 4th grade and getting those kids familiar with their stick skills. And that really is what makes the difference between some of these programs.
Surratt feeds, and another goal for the West. Grant Stern from Wrights strikes again.
So it looks like it's they've got that Evansville connection going on with nice to see Surratt with getting an assist, and then also Wrights getting another one.
That is interesting. You have, for the attack for the West, you have Surratt from Memorial in Evansville, Jack Higgington from North, and Grant Stern from Wrights.
Let's see if we can take a look at this. As he comes around the corner there, he draws the defense, flips it on the inside, and then an excellent high-to-high catch and shot. So really good goal there. Pretty play by just two guys who are clearly familiar with each other, even though they're rivals.
You can't really blame Matthew Tellis from Southport. He had to slide over and cut off Surratt. You can't let him have an open shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's a single guy out here that can cover Surratt the way he's so shifty. So it's good for him.
For a face-off win and controlled currently by Anderson, an underhander trying to try the 5-hole on Kevin Smith, but Smith's able to close it just like a goalie in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Oh, Kevin Smith with a great outlet here.
That's the kind of shot that a coach won't allow during the regular season.
Oh, what about that one?
That's a shot everyone wants to see. Boy, Surratt, what an exceptional player this kid is, huh? Now we know why he's had 84 points in the regular season. That was impressive to see. Just catch it, and he dives in front and shoots it in there. So, whew. With it, and that whole thing started, with Carr's save and then the outlet there to number 11, Eric Allen. Eric Allen getting it down there and then breaking down the fast break. So, excellent play all the way around from three really good players here. So, we knew we'd get to see some of that high-level play. It's nice to see it showing up.
So, at the face-off X for the East, the dark color, number 9, Landon Lawrence from Westfield. I'll have to update the player in white momentarily, especially if he does well in this.
Well, there you go.
We'll let him decide.
Ooh,
Oh, it's
scrap.
close. Good close.
Oh, yeah, it's a good win there.
So it's
Good win for
Lawrence
the
who
East.
comes up with it.
Yep, touch the box. There's that white and green Zionsville helmet again. He's looking to invert. They got a little switch going on, so he's going to go against the long stick.
And that one's kicked away, and there is a lid on the front of the net for the West.
Yeah, so clearly the bar has been set by Duffy, but looks like they're sticking with it over here. Kevin Smith, yeah.
Around the back. Looking, shovel under.
That was a pass. He's got his defenseman hung, so they're going to try and pick a side.
That's Peyton Vorty on defense, number 22.
Oof, I think that hit the defenseman. Surratt again for that fake.
Oh,
Hit the post. No goal. Hit the post. That was a really good play. That's something that you don't see a lot of. Like, Surratt there was covered. The defender was really in good position, but he was able to get the shot off around the body. And that's something that you want to teach the high-level players, that you don't have to be completely uncovered to get a shot off. So, excellent play by him to shoot around the body. The goalie never saw it hit the post. Good play. And the goalie's best friend made the save as we see the East set up their offense.
That post, it can be the most frustrating thing in the world if you're an offensive player.
Yeah, when I was a freshman in high school, I played attack, and they called me the plumber because I was always hitting so many posts.
Always hitting the pipe?
Yeah. They eventually moved me to defense where I settled in. So
takes away all the ambiguity, you know.
yeah.
Trying to work it around Caden Anderson up top, just high of Aiden Craig and Steve Kinney. We saw him wince on the track down below.
He did wince a little bit. Aiden likes to play at X. Playing on a wing is not where he's strong, but this is a showcase. Show what you can do no matter where.
Yeah, and he's a selfless kid too. He'll play wherever coaches ask him to.
He played defense for us, face off. He played everything but goalie this year for us.
And if you would ask, I bet you, Coach, I bet you he would have played goalie if you asked.
He actually volunteered because we did not have a goalie coming into the season. I said, no, we can use you elsewhere.
I appreciate it.
Ooh,
But
look at that
however,
split dodge.
Ooh,
Another great save.
I got a feel for the East is kind of looking like without the results of a little bit of what Hamilton Southeastern was doing last night against Carmel. They're just volume shooting at the goal.
Yeah, I think you've got great goaltending in there from both Duffy and Smith, so you're just going to have to get as many on as you can.
Here's Eric Allen from Carmel. Over to Clayton Street from Lafayette Harrison, West Lafayette Harrison, and back to Surratt.
For Surratt, this is a big deal because they did not make the playoffs, or they did make the playoffs. They lost to Cathedral in the first round. This is his first chance to play against other high level. A lot of their schedule was against lower levels this year, and he is showing that he is every bit the player that his stats show him to be. He had 2 goals in the game against Cathedral earlier in the playoffs.
Eric Allen winds up, and this one was deflected off of the stick of Peyton Vorty from Penn High School, 22 in navy blue.
Surratt really like to run the offense through him, and he clearly knows what he's doing. So that's we're clearly saying his name. I really wanted to see this kid play because when you have those kind of numbers, sometimes it's just you're feasting on the Sisters of the Blind. But clearly he's, like Coach Kinney said, he's actually is legit. Like to see where he plays going forward. He gets an opportunity to play club lacrosse or something somewhere. Not sure, I haven't heard about that.
On shot was Clayton Street from Harrison. That's going to be true. A lot of
referees actually called that a pass for some reason because they've awarded that to the defense, even though there clearly was a player in white behind. So there you go.
Uh-oh. Look out, Peyton.
Whoop, whoop. A little roll dodge. Yeah, not the aggressive ride like we saw from Hamilton Southeastern last night, or we expect tonight from them, but almost a little token defense. So there you go.
And Brandon Ward, Lawrence North, number 25 in dark. Loses it right into one of his own teammates, though.
So let's see if they can crack the cellophane that's blocking the goal here for the East.
It's either cellophane or it's just coated in marble, something. Richardson played it off.
Look at this. We have a timeout called by coaches.
That'll let us take one, too. 5-0 West here on the East-West Showcase game on Indiana SRN.
Today's game is brought to you by Shin Technology Service Corporation. Technology is about humans and not about machines. Dave and his crew has provided 27 years of software needs. Give them a call. Shin Technology Service Corporation. You may reach him by phone at 317-545-3650 or shintechnology.com. For more information, contact Dave, 317-545-3650.
Hello, my name is Sean Kroll. and I've been a part of the Indiana SRN family for the last 9 years. Last year, we streamed a record 326 sporting events around Central Indiana. All the other guys broadcast basketball and football, but we at Indiana SRN also air volleyball, softball, baseball, and even golf. But we need your help. To continue our mission, please help us by contacting Coach at indianasrn.org. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jonathan Mathis, Byron Stankus, Steve Kinney. 5-0. There is I don't know why they decided to do this, but they decided to put this big piece of plywood in front of the goal that the East is trying to shoot on, and they just can't get through it.
Yeah, I think the plywood in this quarter is named Kevin Smith. The plywood last quarter was named Michael Duffy. So it's nice that they even give names to the plywood that's blocking that off. But while we were on break, our crack statistician, Steve Kinney, came up with that Harmon Surratt is playing. So what did you find out?
What's the I-team report over there, Steve?
From what I understand, he has committed to play at Maryville University, a Division II lacrosse program.
That's in the same. They play University of Indianapolis and Rockhurst and all those people, all those schools.
And Lindenwood?
Yeah, Lindenwood.
All right,
Lindenwood, who we saw last night, is recruited about every team that played in the Final Four.
Yeah, I think, and it's nice to see Indy starting to pick up more players from around here as well. They were a little cold to Indiana lacrosse when they first started up, and they're starting to see benefits of picking them up here as the game is underway here after that timeout. A very rare, by the way, timeout during an All-Star or a showcase game. So I think they really, really, really want to score here. So
get something going. Craig up
there
top. Here it is. Nice play in
Aiden
the first
Richardson.
goal of the game. Aiden Richardson from Noblesville, Jr. Nice play by Aiden.
Yeah, Aiden Richardson, Noblesville. I got to coach him a couple years ago. Coached his brother. He's a workhorse. That kid will do everything. So really good to see. Coach Kinney's former player feed it to my former player, and there's a little bit of pride shining through for us.
How about that? That's good.
Yeah,
You should
right?
have some pride shining through.
Yeah, so there goes the wrapping over the goal. We finally got through for the East.
I have an update from the girls lacrosse 1A state championship game.
Please go on.
Westfield has won the 1A state title.
Oh,
wow.
Beating Heritage Christian.
Wow, that's a
What was
big
the
one.
score?
I don't have the score. I just was told of the winner.
Gotcha. Well, here's Logan Mobusser in black and Nick Davidson.
Congratulations to Westfield.
Hi, congratulations, Shamrocks.
Yeah, right on. Good for them. I think that's their first title. Looks like we're going to get
Oh,
a
hey, a
penalty.
flag.
Look at that.
We're seeing firsts for everything.
First
in
for
this
everything. Yeah,
showcase.
referees are, I think in that case, to be honest with you, had
Pretty
to call
obvious.
it. Yeah. I think in
Yeah,
that
it's
case
pretty
they can throw
clear.
it.
But we got a timeout, we got a flag, got a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. It's going to be a 30-second push, so it won't be too long. So, did he
All
call
right,
it a
1
1 minute? We are hearing from the announcers on the other side that they called up that it's a 1 minute. I'm guessing cross-check then. I would have called a 30-second push or deferred it or something like that personally, but there you go.
Well, if this was a game yesterday or this evening, we would be talking about this is a tremendous opportunity for the East.
Yeah, with them.
And it is.
It is building
a little different.
Absolutely, building momentum off their last goal. Now they have an extra man. They're going to work it around. See if they have anything resembling a play here. They do with a sneak around the corner. Zionsville
Fire
goal.
right into the thigh.
We'll call
the
it
midsection.
The thigh. We'll call it the thigh.
Reggie
Yeah.
Miller calls that the midsection
The
in
midsection.
TNT broadcasts.
There you go. I
Goalies
like
are
it.
tough.
Goalies are tough. They
And this
also
one is
have
going to dribble out of play.
Yeah, they also have extra protection there, so he didn't flinch too much.
He's feeling it. That's all right. It's 5-1 favor of the West. 5 minutes, 34 seconds left in this first half of the East-West Showcase game here in Indiana SRN.
The East was able to get the last one. Let's see if they can get the next one and build on that momentum. They still have an extra man advantage.
I like that swim move by Caden Anderson.
I'm seeing a lot of.
Oh man, what
heat.
a bullet!
That is
Logan Mobusser from Park Tudor. The Panther on the prowl on that shot.
Man, that was power to power right there. High heat, like you said, and he just stepped and ripped it. He had hands free, was able to step down, use his whole body. So that was an excellent shot. by the Park
Hey,
Terrier player.
question for the coaches.
Yes.
What does that look, if you're the goalie and you're seeing that coming at you, that's coming quick. What's that look like? You're looking out there, seeing pass, and then bam, it's in the net.
Well, for goaltenders, right? When you teach goaltenders, or you are a goaltender, you're actually watching the ball, right? So you're not watching the players as much. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to then, when you see him wind up for that shot, you're stepping towards that to reduce the angle, and then you're taking your big netted stick and trying to put it in exactly the location you think that's going. So you're really just reacting as much as you can to where that ball is releasing from his stick. So
at the higher levels, you are scouting where they shoot, so you're guessing more, especially when the speeds go up. So he normally shoots high to high. You're hoping to put your stick on the ball.
And here comes the West again.
I know Coach.
Look at him maintain the cradle. Oh, just
Look
swiveled
at that.
out.
Triple team, he's able to get it out.
I know Byron has coached players who have shot over 100 miles an hour before, so I was very glad I wasn't a goalie against any of those guys.
Yeah, no, when we were coaching those guys, those goaltenders, we had 100-mile-an-hour shooters. We would literally have them from 20 to 25 yards out shooting to get them used to that speed before we cranked them in. So, but yeah, it's just a natural reaction. You're watching the head of the stick, and you're just trying to throw the head of your stick towards the head of their stick and hope you get it. What makes it especially difficult if you're shooting at that speed is if you change levels. You should start with your stick high and you shoot low, or you bounce it. That makes it even more difficult. So, shooting high to high when the goalie stick is already high and still beating him is an exceptional shot. Power to power like that.
Chris Baldelli lost it, and nice stick play by Kevin Smith, the goalie in white.
Yeah. Look at goalies running around, picking up ground balls.
Here's Martin Duffy, number 21.
So I got some information from the coaches on the sideline about why they're taking timeouts. Some of these players haven't played lacrosse in several weeks if they didn't make the playoffs, and the heat is starting to get to them a little bit.
There we go. That's an iTunes report. That's something that you should be used to there, Wildcat.
Yeah, well, it was a different heat out there. Trust me, we were dry heat.
Yeah, it was hotter and less humid.
So
it's 81 degrees right now.
Yeah,
Not in Arizona.
No. When we were in Arizona, actually, kids would come in and they would take all their shirts off and they'd wear nothing underneath their pads. Oh, look at this shot go wide. But they would wear nothing under their pads. And what we would do, we were trained, we actually would wear a T-shirt underneath. And then every break we would get, we would water that T-shirt because it would evaporate so quickly. We get a lot of dehydration issues out there. But that was our clever trick. Out here, you don't need that because there's plenty of humidity in the air.
That's true. That was Grant Stern offering up to Jack Higginson from Evansville North, the green helmet.
I think Evansville's really represented himself very well here.
They have, on the offensive end.
Yep.
Very prolific scoring.
Prolific scoring, and we're seeing Center Grove involved here. And then cross crease. Look at this shot. Ooh.
Side of the cage.
So that was a really good.
That was Camden Counts from Evansville Central.
Evansville Central. Yeah, and then number 7, the kid from Wrights there, right? Grant Stern made that feed. I mean, he literally fed it through the entire formation in order to get it there. So that was good play.
I do what it meant. In Evansville, they do not call it. I'm aware of this. I just want to get it all straight for all our listeners. In Evansville, they do not call Evansville Central. It's just Central.
They call it Central.
But for the rest of us,
sort of like
we don't want to get all the Centrals confused.
Right. It's sort of like when we eat Chinese food in China, they just call it food. Same theory there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. But it's also in Bloomington. It's not Bloomington North, Bloomington South. It's North and South.
Well, I can also tell you, growing up in New York, it's not New York cheesecake. It's just cheesecake. So I think we're all on the same board with that.
Yeah,
so
I'm just clarifying. I know.
No, sounds great.
If you're in Evansville watching, thank you, and we are well aware of the naming of your schools. We just want to make sure all the other Centrals in the state don't get confused with the greatness that is Evansville Central. We had one of their football games last year.
Did you?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It was their first game of the year, and they did very well against Greenfield Central, who does call themselves Greenfield Central. Nice shot from the man from Evansville North, but it was deflected away.
Or just north.
Yes.
See, I think I'm picking up on this thing, huh?
You're catching on.
How about that? Oh, look at this little play.
From Zionsville, Duncan McCourt was tripped up. He had an opportunity, though.
Out when Aiden Richardson fed him the ball and then tracked down that loose ball as well. So now Noblesville getting represented.
That was Zionsville only and Noblesville only high school.
Yes, there is no Zionsville Central. Zionsville Community High School is the full name. And Noblesville is, what do they call themselves?
Noblesville.
Noblesville High School.
They're just the Millers. They're just the Millers.
Well, that's their mascot, yeah. If we have to get into mascots, we're going to have a lot of Eagles or something like that on the field.
There are a lot of. There's actually a ton of Panthers.
Panthers and Eagles, yeah. Maybe that's what
Back
we
to
should
McCourt.
Maybe that's what we should do is have one of these games that we do, like a mascot divided by mascots. All the Panthers on one team, all the Eagles on another.
That would be one. That would be one approach. Here is one of the Eagles, Duncan McCourt, having to retreat all the way back to midfield to retrieve that ground ball.
And he's out
Or
there.
as they are known in the lacrosse community, the Zeagles.
Well, that works. That works. And checking him on defense is Brendan Lawton, and
There's a situation where
took off on him.
Yeah, he had the defense backed off for some reason because they weren't sure exactly who was supposed to cover him, and he took a nice sidearm shot. That probably, if he would have done technically correct overhand shot, he would have had a better chance at it.
Hayden Craig, another Eagle.
Another Eagle, yeah.
So about 47 seconds left in this first half, and
there's a good shot. Boy,
ever so close from Mason Otto.
Yeah, Mason Otto for sure.
He's been about as active as Surratt has been, but that goal has been hard to score on.
And then around the back try there, a little around the world by Aiden Craig, didn't quite get it off. I think he hit his own shoulder. But good cut, good feed. Yeah, the goaltending is huge down there, even though they've finally notched a couple. So here he goes again.
27 seconds left in the first half.
I think he saw the clock too, so he's trying to figure out what the best way to do this is. Look how shifty he is.
Otto wraps around, lets her fly, and a nice save by Smith.
And then Mason
Craig,
he's looking
in front.
feeding.
Otto, nope.
So it looks like Craig and
6
Otto
seconds.
seem to be working well together. They're
4,
looking for each other.
3. Last couple
Another
seconds
save.
still there. No. And that will take us to halftime of the East-West Showcase game for an Indiana SRN. West leads 5-2. We'll be back in a little bit here on Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
I think the best thing that our ministry offers is that when the women come in and they are pregnant and they've reached our scan dates, which are 6 weeks, 4 days to 14 weeks, we're able to image them with ultrasound.
Seeing the image on the screen and hearing a heartbeat clarifies that it is truly life and not just a clump of cells.
You can see babies sucking their thumbs. You can see them running their hands over their head.
It shows them what God is doing on the inside that they don't feel or don't even think is real, but they see a real image of a real baby on the screen.
It just breaks my heart when a woman, no matter what her circumstances are, that she decides to end that intrauterine pregnancy, that she decides that she's better to go on her own without that baby.
Welcome back, everyone. Jonathan Mathis, Byron Stankus. 5-2 at the half here of the East-West Showcase game. We have, 5-4, or 5-2, as I said, a little bit different. The score not so much, but being able to see the talent, we got to see that from both sides. Some aggressive attack play, great goalie play from the West team. Michael Duffy, Kevin Smith, kudos to them.
Yeah, that really was Michael Duffy set the stage there in goal, and then Kevin Smith the second quarter followed that up. But it wasn't really an issue of offense. Aiden Craig, Mason Otto, Aiden Richardson, guys, John Bellflower, they were generating offense there. It just, the goaltending for the West was doing such a good job. And then we saw a really great contingent on the other side offensively from the entire contingent of Evansville. Whether that was
the whole cadre of Evansville players.
Yeah, we got Wrights and Harrison, Memorial, and North all showing up, in the plays there. So Harmon Surratt is the guy we expected, and nice to see him play and get him out there.
It's really good to see a player like, speaking of Harmon Surratt, we didn't get to talk about him in the playoffs, as much as you would like to talk about a player of his caliber in the playoffs.
Exactly.
And this is one of those opportunities where it's great to be able to let him showcase his skills, because we know he's going to be playing D2 next year, which is fantastic.
Absolutely.
But it's great to be able to see that for the young lacrosse players in Indiana, like, this is what a really athletic attackman can do, and that's attractive to players. If you're looking at wanting to play the game, you can play it like that.
Yes, you absolutely can. And the other thing that's really good is you get a team that was number 16 in Memorial and led by a guy like Surratt, and that you still now, Indiana lacrosse has grown enough that even in a 16th place team, you'll still have an opportunity to go play at college level, even at the Division II level. So you don't, I mean, we had that a couple years ago with the twins, Devin and Daniel Sparks, who played at Concordia, and they were able to go on and play down at Division II as well. So there's opportunities, especially now with Lindenwood and UIndy. We don't have the Butler program we used to have, but we've had a couple of players come out of here and go play at Butler. But those were coming off of the top teams in the state.
Yeah.
Now we're looking at teams that are, 15 through 20, still showcasing that they really have good talent, and they're still having the opportunity to go on and play at the next level. And it's great to see that.
And I think, more, to your point, having truly great programs, whether it's Cathedral or Carmel or Hamilton Southeastern, Guerin, Catholic playing in the Final Four, that's great. But the healthier your sport is when you have the depth that ranges throughout the talent pool throughout the state, and being able to see that developing is very encouraging, especially for someone like you when you've been involved in Indiana lacrosse from the beginning.
Exactly. And that's really a credit to the growth of the sport. We're really seeing it go up, reach out. It's sort of like a skeleton is created. You start with a high school program that is viable, then you build that youth program, and then you get the coaching at the youth program, and then that pushes the players up, and then those programs get an opportunity to blossom. And that's exactly what we're starting to see, is we're getting some more viable programs like we are down in Evansville, and we're seeing it up in the Chicagoland area like in Crown Point. And Crown Point's a perfect example of what we're talking about. Is they definitely have gone to a youth program and are starting to see the fruits of that youth program blossom into an 8th ranked team this year.
We're going to step away for a few moments, but don't go anywhere. We're coming back. We're going to break down the all-state teams next. This is the East-West Showcase game on Indiana SRN.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Buff Jesuit High School. Beautiful day for lacrosse, and it's championship Saturday here at the IHSLA. I'm Jonathan Mathis. Byron Stankus is with me. You see the different award presentation. We'll highlight some of them as we go along, but we definitely want to highlight some of the all-state players, because that's, we were just talking about this in the last segment, but the real testament to the growth of a sport is when you have the depth that goes throughout. And when you look at the different all-state teams, all three of them, well, two plus the honorable mention, you get to see where you have just the different schools being represented, which is excellent to see.
Yeah, the representation goes all the way down. I mean, we've got kids from just about everywhere that are being represented in the all-state categories, and that's the great thing about having honorable mentions. The format is actually, if you don't make the playoffs, you only get one nominee. So for you to be nominated by your team is an honor in and of itself, and then to see those nominees actually go on and do well is a pretty good thing to see for the expansion of the program.
Here's the first team on the attack: Cam Smith, Mason Otto, Jack Green from those two from Westfield. We've seen Mason Otto this afternoon doing fantastic work on attack. Cam Smith we saw last night. He was more in a distributor role. But if we look, keeping down midfield, Tom Sprates we saw last night. Caden Anderson's playing here today. Matthew Dennon played very well last evening for Cathedral. On defense, Cannon Ellsbury, Luke Leonard, Joe Heck from Guerin Catholic. Joe Leonard, the St. Joe's representative on this on the first team. Michael Duffy has looked like the first team goalie this afternoon.
He absolutely has. And what you're looking at is first team. These are the best teams. These are the best teams that are represented. They're the best players that are represented in the first team. And that's absolutely what you expect. Hamilton Southeastern. Now Westfield was, I believe, number 6 this year going into the playoffs. Both Mason Green and Jack Otto were All-Americans, which is a huge compliment to that program. They've got a new coach there that's come in and turned that program around in Troy Dinkle. So Westfield is definitely on the roads. Center Grove we see represented in Caden Anderson. So even though these are the top teams, you see a couple of up-and-comers in Chittard with Moorhead there coaching along with Center Grove and Westfield.
And maybe one of the literal best up-and-comers, Titus Splinter, the long stick mid for Hamilton Southeastern. He had a wonderful game last night.
He did. He really did. And last year he had come in, like I said, in a fill-in role after they had some a suspension on the team, and he was forced to play late in the season and stepped in as a freshman and didn't expect much from that little body. And boy, is he a scrappy player and fun to watch. And he's there. So as we were going forward here, they are giving an award out here to the Coach of the Year. We were talking about Joe Laird. Joe Laird at Crown Point.
He's the red shirt just off the screen. Here he is.
You'll see him walking in. This is Joe Laird here. Matt McEnroe, president of the league, is going to get them. Joe Laird's been there, I think, since early on in the program and starting to reap the benefits of that. They were a number 8 team, and they shocked quite a few people. They were able to beat some powerhouses like they beat Zionsville for sure last year, and they stuck at the Heritage this year as well, and so they're a team I think in the future that's going to be someone to be a force to be reckoned with moving forward. Congratulations to him.
They have the unique landscape situation where they're the up-and-coming program in the greater Chicagoland area, so they're drawing from that talent from up there.
Well, yeah, I don't know how much they're drawing talent out of Chicago, but they have the opportunity to take their team on a very short trip and go play talented teams in Chicago. And anytime you really want to expand the program's base, you really want to go out and compete against better things. So they don't have to go as far, as like, say, Evansville does to go play. So that's really an advantage that they have there. The teams here in Indy, they can play each other and do pretty well. Although you'll see, Cathedral and HSC and Carmel will play a lot of out-of-state teams and a lot of tough competitions. But Crown Point can do that without traveling too far, so that's a big advantage for them.
And here's the second team. Jack Needlinger, Ryan Kemp, Hunter Roberts, Asher Mendel, Cathedral, Hamilton Southeastern, Noblesville, Carmel represented in that in the attack and the midfield. You have Tanner Dunwoody's Cathedral. He had a great game last evening.
Yeah, but if you look who's next there? Andrew Machea is a freshman out of Marion. And Marion is another young program. They're represented here on second team All-State. That's exactly what we were talking about before. You see Will Bauer, a sophomore out of Center Grove. So not only are these sort of up-and-coming programs, but these are young players getting these awards, which bodes well moving forward, as well as a long stick midi. I'm not going to try and pronounce Eli, number 10 there, the senior from Center Grove. Puftenhauer.
I want to point out at the face-off, this was one of the debates. Tony Kassiri and Sam Bedich. Sam Bedich from Cathedral is the first teamer, Kassiri the second teamer. We're going to see that matchup later on this afternoon. And that seemed to be a real debate between which one's going to be where. They're the two best.
They are the two best, and depending on who you talk to, either that was exactly the way they should have been laid out 1-2, or somebody got robbed, should have been 1-2 the other way. But we're going to find out tonight, because tonight those two are going to go head-to-head, and we're going to see who that is.
Here's the honorable mention. Many, many, many more players, and also you can see many, many more teams. You see Fishers, one of the defensive midfielders, Trevor Moen. You just go through, and also Michael Lath down on just regular defense. But
yeah, but
a lot of depth.
Look at a couple of the goalies. We got one from Roncalli. We've got one from Brownsburg. We got one from Marion, right? We see Center Grove again there at faces. And then, we've got some of the standard stalwarts defensive midfielders, like we saw Justin Moore last night and Simon Paris as well. But, we're getting representation from a variety of schools, and I think that's excellent. Harmon Stewart, obviously, top there at the attack. But Bloomington South, another one. Penn.
It's nice to see all the different schools represented. And we're going to see more of them after the break. We're going to come back. We're going to look at the all-academic players, and then we're going to preview the championship game this evening. You are watching the East-West Showcase game on Indiana SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Standing right in the middle of that screen, welcome back, everyone. Jonathan, here he is. This is a very special story, Byron. Take it away.
Yeah, this is Max Shores. Max Shores is winning the award for Man of the Year, even though he is still a college-aged athlete. But Max Shores suffered an AVM, which is an arterial venal malformation and had is basically a stroke. And that happened earlier this year, and he has trouble moving the left side of his body and all that sort of stuff. He was a player at Fishers. Coach McEnroe, who is now the president of the league, was his coach. And so he's had to battle through that condition just to be up here and walk. But not only did he do that and just do the walk, what he did was he's now actually out there helping the Fishers program and helping some of those kids with a little bit of coaching. He wasn't able to go back to Kelly School of Business there at IU yet. Hopefully he'll be back next year, but he's still working his rehab and started getting that mobility back. But he's still willing to give back to lacrosse, and that to me is a really a heartwarming story here to see Max Shores and to go out and do that, and even more importantly, it's really great to see him out and about and moving, and then he was absolutely honored for his commitment to the game and giving back. So real proud of that, and I'm really happy to see that.
That is a great story. Not as significant, but nevertheless also great stories what all of these athletes are able to do, not only in the classroom but on the field to contribute. Tony Casiri, academic All-State, Dean Constantine. We've seen a lot of these guys. Trey Gammon's playing right now. Maxwell Garcia from Crown Point. Stuart Gomez will be playing later tonight with Cathedral. Kyle McAvoy from Heritage Christian. He plays multi-sport athletes for there. And Jordan Walker is going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, Jordan Walker's going to Notre Dame. And Tony Casiri had been talking last year about going to DePaul, but it looks like he's going to be moving on to the Kelly School of Business. So he's going to go on to Kelly School of Business, talk to his dad last night, and he's like, yeah, we definitely going to go there down to IU because it's really great to go to Kelly School of Business, especially when it's free. So congratulations to Tony Casiri. He did really well. Jordan Walker at the bottom there also is another one. He came off of that major knee injury and was able to get back the rest of the season. But he also got the Bob Scott Award for giving back to the program. So he's still a player, but he helps out in youth and that sort of stuff. So his commitment to giving back to the game got an additional award. So not only is academically great, but he's also a good human being as well.
And after walking the I think it's 5 flights of stairs to get back up here, Steve Kennedy, do you want to brag about Kyle McAvoy a little bit?
I would love to brag about Kyle McAvoy. Kyle is a 4-year letterman at Heritage in lacrosse and a 2-year or 3-year letterman in football. I believe you've called some of his games.
That's true.
He is headed to Notre Dame also, and is actually looking for a walk-on role with their lacrosse team.
Yeah, so
It's
look
an
at that.
excellent program,
Yeah,
too.
the two.
Go ahead and wipe it, Chair.
The two guys at the bottom, now Kyle McAvoy and Jordan Walker, going to Notre Dame. So that's good representation. And yes, not only a good program, but what color helmets do they have?
It's gleaming gold.
Huh,
Gleaming gold.
interesting,
Just like the dome and the sun.
How did you know that? That's interesting.
I'm
pay
privy.
attention,
I'm
don't
privy.
you?
I do. I'm
That's
well
excellent.
privy on Notre Dame lacrosse team. I'm also privy on our matchup this evening. I want to turn to you guys. Hamilton Southeastern Cathedral, speaking of gold helmets, from winning last year.
Yes.
So every state champion from 2016 to 18 represented. A little bit of a, somewhat of a grudge match, obviously not the history and the rivalry that Cathedral and Carmel have, but you have the new kids on the block, Hamilton Southeastern looking for a second, Cathedral looking to get back what they probably believe is theirs.
Yeah, and it's young versus old when it comes to Andy Gruber and his coaching staff, and they've all been around and been together a lot, and at Cathedral, and then you've got Hamilton Southeastern with Scott Beasley and his young program, and has developed a formula that seems to be working for them. They've got good youth coming in from both sides. So it's really good to see that. I think it's going to be a tremendous matchup. The regular season matchup was a 10-6 win in favor of Cathedral, but we had talked about this before, that Cathedral won that game, but HSC was actually missing two very, very key players. One of them was Timmy Matthew Dykes in goal. So they went to their backup goalie for that one. That was literally right after he had torn that labrum. So that was his first time out until the doctor sort of said cleared him to play and play through the pain until he has surgery next week. And Tony Cassiri was out for that game after having served a suspension for an aggressive hit in the Noblesville game. And so Tony Cassiri not being in that game to go up against the first team All-State Bedich, this is going to be great for us because it's going to be the first time this season that those two are going to go head-to-head.
Steve, what do you look forward to?
Like Byron said, the face-off matchup is going to be a huge part of this game. But what I am most looking forward to tonight is I expect from Cathedral a little bit of a difference in their offense from what we saw last night. I almost felt as if last night they were holding something back. They knew who their opponent was. They were a heavy favorite. If it was Vegas odds on it, they probably would have been a 6 or 7 goal favorite last night. So I'm curious of where they're going offensively tonight. I think you're going to have more consistency at attack. They're not going to rotate as many players at attack, and there's going to be a little bit more explosion from their offense tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was just going to ask that. Do you think with the tempo that Guerin Catholic plays is not remotely close to what Cathedral likes, but that's more of where Hamilton Southeastern lives?
I like to say that Cathedral played last night with really like a slow confidence. They never felt like the game was out of hand. I think it's a game where they just knew it doesn't matter. You don't have to win by a certain margin. You just have to win. I think they played with a quiet confidence. I don't think they ever looked panicked. We talked about maybe some yelling by the coaches at halftime. That probably actually didn't happen. I think they were very confident moving forward. So I do think that the tempo is going to be different because Hamilton Southeastern loves that up-tempo, really press the goal. They want to do volume shooting. They want to get lots of assists. They want to get lots of goals. They really want to go at you, go at you, go at you. And then when they lose the ball, they want to play very aggressively. But what I do like about it is we're actually going to be stylistically probably this game going to see equal styles. Both teams are going to want to be duplicating the same way. They both are going to play a very aggressive man-to-man style defense. They're both going to be very attack the goal with a lot of aggression. They're both going to be counting on their face-offs to win extra possessions. They're going to be both counting on their goaltenders. So it really looks like two Goliaths that are going to just go banging head-to-head.
And as we get ready to resume action, to begin this third quarter, second half, it's 5-2 the lead for the West and White. But we still want to touch on this championship, which will be right here in Indiana SRN at 6 o'clock, because when that is getting to set, I want to ask, the coaching matchup's very intriguing. You have Andy Gruber, who's been at Cathedral forever, and Scott Beasley, who's the relative newcomer on the big stage, and he's the one trying to defend his state championship. How do you think the coaches are going to handle that one, Steve?
Well, I think it's Coach O'Rourke that's going to be the little bit of a wild card tonight. Is Coach O'Rourke just won Assistant Coach of the Year. Fantastic coach. Brings a lot of discipline to the program. And what what he's going to make adjustments to during the game on defense. And that's one of the things that Coach Beasley has done a great job is surrounding himself with fantastic assistant coaches. And as much as we praise the head coaches, so much of the credit on both of these squads tonight go to their assistant coaches.
Yeah, as we watch this East-West game, Drew, that's going to be an interesting matchup of as far as assistant coaches. It's going to be real as we see a flag on the field here.
It's on Eric Allen from Carmel.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Kyle Mates, the offensive coordinator, versus Michael for the Irish, and Mike O'Rourke for HSE, and then you're going to see Ryan Haas, the defensive coordinator for. Listening to the thing in the background here, but you're going to listen to. Kyle Mates and Ryan Haas. Ryan Haas, the defensive coordinator for the Irish, going against Neil Barnes, the offensive coordinator for HSE. So those matchups behind the head coaches are also intriguing as well. Because Neil Barnes used to be a head coach at Westfield. So
you also have a really interesting defensive matchup, not just with the goalies, but if you want to look at a couple first teamers, the player of the state, Cannon Ellsbury on HSE, and then Richie Korlewski from Cathedral. Like they're both of these teams. It's not just the offense. It's not just the face-off. It's throughout the whole lineup for them.
No, really, you're not going to find a weakness on either of these teams. That's why they're going to be playing in the championship game, right? I mean, they're going to be strong defensively. They've got strong players. They've got strong athletes. There's a slight advantage to Cathedral, maybe at depth of the midfield. But other than that, and that's depth. If you have to go to your second or third line, maybe the slight advantage to Cathedral. But other than that, these are probably two equally paired, equally matched teams, as we see a shot ripped wide here in this game.
I agree completely on these being equally matched teams. I'm really curious about where Tanner Dunwoody is going to play tonight. He was most effective last night when they moved him to attack. And if I would not be just surprised to see him start on that left side of that attack tonight.
Good save.
That's
and
close.
The question is, what is the matchup on him? Who are they going to match up on Tanner if he does play attack?
Yeah, Tanner Dunwoody and then Tanner Williams on the other side with his great game. Both coaches are willing to move guys around in the offensive zone. What may be really interesting to see is which team.
Nice
pass
one.
And goal.
Hey, look at that! Someone
Avery
got one.
Larson from Homestead.
Yeah, got one by Michael Duffy.
That long
Slipped
break
in.
took it out of him.
2-goal game.
Look at that! That was an excellent play.
Speaking of the number 2, though, because this is something we were expecting last night in the Hamilton Southeastern game, Cam Smith, Ryan Kemp.
Yes.
But the Royals, they were able to spread around. It wasn't just the two-man show.
Correct.
And so we move back to the revert to form for HSE, or are they going to keep playing? Here's the replay of the shot. Hold on to that question.
Look at this as they feed the crease in here, and then little quick dunk in there. So excellent feed to get it on the inside.
A little bit of falling asleep on the defensive part there.
Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that game as we see a false start here and award winning to the West.
But the two-man show, are we going to go back to the two-man show, or is this? Are we
the
two-man
show? Yeah, the two-man show for me was something that they had to go to early in the season because they didn't know who was going to come around. Beasley does not preach that. That's not something that he really wants to do. What he wants to do is spread the ball around and find the hot hand and find the open guy. And I think we're going to see that diversity of scoring from them again. What I'm really curious to see is which defense makes an adjustment to either a zone or some sort of slide package that's a little bit different, whether they're going to slide adjacent or whether they're going to drop someone in a hole or do something different. Both of these guys are very...
Hey, another goal. Duncan McCourt, the Zionsville Eagle, gets one, and it's a 1-goal game.
So, that's excellent. Nice to see a game closing in here. But I'd like to see which defensive adjustments are made to see if there's a special defense that's created. Sometimes defenses like to force everybody to the outside. Maybe they funnel them to the inside. Maybe they run a zone. See if somebody does something like that. Maybe they find mismatches or double team a particular player. So that'll be it. So let's take a look at this one goal here that just made it here. Oh, he just turns the corner on a right-handed dodge and a nice hard bouncer. That's an excellent shot from about 7 yards out.
I love those ones where you get the great. It looks great on the photos when you're airborne. you're contorting yourself around and snapping it through.
Right, and those don't really work well when it goes high to high as far as shots, and what he was able to do there was to bounce it, and when you're going against a guy as exceptional as Michael Duffy, you definitely want to bounce shot or do something tricky, like shoot from 5 yards or 5 yards or in, or do something like a bounce shot.
Here's Aiden Craig, plays it over to the side to a fellow who just scored a shot, Avery Larson.
Here comes Craig. Craig likes to dodge and create, but he usually gives the ball up. He needs to shoot more.
He was our team's leading assist the last 2 years. Even though he only played half of the season last year, he still led the team in assists.
So it's Anderson lost it for Sal. He still has it. He just had to play it back out.
Yeah, he just did the one-hand anaconda, we call it.
And this bouncer is well over the goal by Mobusser.
Yeah, but at least it was a bouncer. I like to see that. If you're just going to throw it at Duffy, he's going to eat it up. If you're going to throw a bouncer, it's you don't know how it's going to trickle out. So, ooh, look at that. Great check.
Oh, speaking of which.
Body down.
That's the 5-on-5 action.
I like it. Guys knocking each other around.
Martin
and for those of
Duffy.
you who weren't paying attention last night, 5-on-5 does not mean how many players on the field. It happened to be their numbers. So
that is true. That's the super inside joke for the people who watched the first game last night. You might dust it off again.
Yes.
It's always fresh.
It's always a good
The championship game is tonight here from Burbuff, live on Indiana SRN, the exclusive home for the IHSLA Finals. We're happy to have you join us. We were just wrapping up talking about it's a really great matchup between Cathedral and Heritage Christian. Game at 6 o'clock.
Hamilton Southeastern.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Did I say Heritage Christian?
There is a hope. There is a hope.
We'll reset that. Let's rewind that for a second, Jerry. We'll take that back a little bit. We'd like to welcome you guys to watching
it is out there
the
now.
IHSLA Finals, the 2019 IHSLA Finals on Indiana SRN, the exclusive home for such broadcast between the Cathedral Fighting Irish and the Hamilton Southeastern Royals, the defending champion in the state of Indiana.
So we got a flag on the field here. It was a little sloppy play. Bodies got knocked around. Somebody got an illegal body check. I don't think it was intentional. I think it was just a function of big guy hitting little guy. So some guy with a gold helmet's going to take a knee and feel shame. So
I believe that is Peyton Vorty from Penn.
Yes,
Penn
I believe
Kingsman.
you are correct. Just having watched that play, he just kind of ran through a crowd and knocked somebody over. So
we see a lot of flags in this showcase.
Yeah, I think you're going to see more than you really would normally want in a showcase like this, just simply because players aren't familiar with each other, so the ball's going to be on the ground a lot, so it's going to be a little bit of sloppy play.
That's your Surratt over to the corner, and speaking of which, mishandled by Clayton Street.
It's nice to see this is a one-goal game here, and the man-down team just wins it here.
And for now, it's a one-goal game. On the breakaway is Luke Deering from Cecina High School.
And that's Cecina, another young program. Glad to see them. Unfortunately, this is a perfect example of what happens in a game like this. As they went off sides, as the long pole went over, there was no midfielder that stayed back for him. So they're going to turn that ball over. In the championship game, that happens. You're going to say that that's a coaching issue. In a game like this, it's just players not being familiar with each other.
Here's Nick Davidson from Bloomington South. Face-off man Foreman, and a nice bouncer from Jake Blair of Crown Point.
What a great shot. He had time and room. He was able to step into that, use his whole body. And when you get that thing moving, that's going to go in. And again, it was a bouncer, right? So those bounce shots is going to be trickier for the goalies to handle. So for you youth players out there, it's really pretty to shoot the high heat. But if you really want to score goals, bouncers are going to go in a whole lot easier.
You almost think that you might get, well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure, here's the replay of it. I'm trying to figure how to formulate this question on the bounce off the artificial turf compared to natural grass.
Okay, look at that. Yeah, he just steps. Yeah, look at that. From 15, 16 yards out there, he just steps and rips that. And it's a good hard bouncer. It was bounced up high, really hard for the goalie to read. So, yes, the bouncers on the artificial turf are a lot more consistent. That is correct. But, a little bit of spin coming out of the stick, it still is tougher to read. When we used to play, back when I coached here at Burbuff, we had something called grass on the field. I don't know if you've heard of this.
What is this? What is this material?
It was also, interestingly, it was also green.
Oh, really?
But we also had a lot of brown spots with dirt and such. So we played here, we had grass. And, when you have grass and you got lumps of grass and dirt, and you threw those bouncers, you literally had no idea where it was going to go, so you had a lot of opportunity for it to go in. But there is a more consistent bounce on the turf. Having said that, it is still a lot harder to read because you're not sure exactly where it's going to strike and how much spin it's going to have as far as coming back up. Sometimes those bounces will stay low and kind of skim. Sometimes they'll come up high, and it's always a tough read for the goalies. So still, even on the turf, bouncing is your best opportunity to get it in the goal.
Here's John Bellflower from Guerin Catholic. Saw him last night. His Golden Eagles had completed a very successful season, although a game short of what they were hoping for, but the best season in program history, and trying to make the cut up right in front of the goal was Chris Badali from Munster, and pass was a little high.
Yeah, Munster, another up-and-coming team. They're new the last couple of years. Good to see them represented here. And, again, congratulations to Guerin. Great season. They've been improved every year under Coach Charlie Berry. So we expect more from them moving forward. It was an interesting matchup because when you're at a place like Guerin or, look at this hidden ball trick.
I like it, Bellflower.
And
wearing the number 21 with the Guerin purple helmet.
But you look at places like Guerin and even Brebeuf here or Cathedral. You have to you have to have a different philosophy when you build a program because you don't have a youth program that feeds into it. So you have to have your own. There's a Catholic youth league that they have, and you also then draw kids out of other places like Carmel, Zionsville, and Hamilton Southeastern, so it's a different philosophy. So Carmel has had a tremendous youth program the last couple of years, and Guerin has been the beneficiary of picking some of those guys up, and they're starting to go to Guerin instead of going to Cathedral.
I want to talk about the youth programs, the importance of them, because it sounds like when you're just hearing we got to have this youth program, it's like, what's that mean? But when it becomes second nature, if you think every town has youth basketball and Little League baseball. And so you're just going to have, it just becomes second nature for those kids. Well, let's go put them into Little League. Let's go have them play basketball.
Correct. And places like Fishers and Zionsville and Carmel, that is just as much of an opportunity as
Bellflower.
it is. Ooh, hard rip. That is just as much of an opportunity is to play lacrosse in those communities, and they have been for a couple of years. And so, you don't want to literally teach a kid in high school how to hold the stick properly because lacrosse used to be a sport where you great save on the doorstep.
Save. He's going to run it down too.
Run it down too. He doesn't mind running around, does
Michael Duffy. Take it the whole way, goalie.
Yeah. He adjusted.
Oh, nice dive. He's still going. He's across midfield. He's shoved down from behind, and here's the flag.
He's got his helmet off. He's still got possession. It's got to blow dead as soon as that helmet comes off.
Logan Mobusser had enough of the goal. Whenever you see the goalie running free like that, this is my opportunity to lay the lumber to him.
Well, yeah, of course he's going to sit and serve a penalty for it, but it's fun for us to watch a goalie kind of cross the midfield line and go coast to coast like that. So I was rooting for him to go shoot. What about you?
I was too. So. I was hoping. I wanted to see a spin move, a couple dodges, and then one of those behind the bag head snappers.
Yeah, I think we're reaching for the sky on that.
I was. That's exactly what I was doing.
That's what you're here for, though. Showcase, right?
Show
all of it, right?
Michael Duffy.
So
don't just get shoved down at midfield.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a really cool play by him, though.
Yeah, what's really interesting is he got shoved down. He got shoved down on that push. Had his helmet not fallen off, he could have gotten up and kept going because he still had possession of the ball. So we'll see if the group down from Evansville is able to notch another one because it looks like
Street, and that one is kicked wide.
Oh wait, there's a Zionsville kid out there, so I stand corrected.
There's a few. There's just one actually. That green helmet over there is.
They got Harmon Surratt there. That got Harmon Surratt up there coming up the midfield.
Oh, there's a
and here he
bullet.
is.
Here's Surratt.
Here's Surratt.
We're 4.
Oh,
nice save. Still loose.
Still scrapping. So you were saying that green helmet?
Yeah, that green helmet is Jack Higginson from North.
From North,
That's in Evansville.
So representing the Evansville area there very well, these guys. Oh, good pass into him. So I was incorrect on which green helmet because
it's an understandable mistake.
And then here comes Aiden Richardson from Noblesville.
Checks it down. Aiden Craig right on front. Goal for the East.
That was a
Avery
perfect-
Larson from Homestead for the second time.
Right there was a textbook fast break, right? They outletted that ball. Aiden Richardson takes it down there. They set up an L. He forms the top part of the triangle, the square. They make the defense rotate. So Aiden Craig then passing that down. Do we know who scored that goal?
Yeah, Avery Larson. He's actually
Avery
right
Larson.
there. Long
There he is.
hair. Look at him.
There he is. Look at him.
Look at him showing the dexterity in his fingers. When
So
in those
dexterity in his
gloves.
fingers, and look
He's
at all the
reflex.
lettuce coming out of his hair. So here we are. We're going to watch this.
This is
Textbook
full
fast break.
flowing
Hit the
motion.
point, throw it down low, and then step around. What I like about the way he scored that goal is he didn't just catch it and shoot. He catch it and stepped upfield, turned the corner, and got the shot. So making it real difficult for the goalie there. So excellent play and excellent hair.
Here's Eric Allen. Not a bad head of hair himself. Battling with Park Tudor's Logan Mobusser.
Yeah, Eric Allen used to be a face-off guy for them, and then
Allen comes out with it.
Yeah, he used to be a face-off guy for them, and then moved over to just playing offense.
Surratt behind the cage.
I would love to see him create. Watch him get just real shifty here.
Oh, he does
Shot
just
goal.
that. There's the bouncer.
Created for himself, huh? Is that I think is his 4th point, 3rd goal.
Sounds right.
I am not officially keeping track, but that's what it looks like to me. But that kid's impressive to watch.
Yeah, Harmon Surratt.
Yeah, he's fun.
Man.
Over here on the sidelines,
Oh,
I
hey,
found
Steve.
out that during the extended halftime, they had a bounce shot clinic on the sideline. That is why we are seeing so many bounce shots in this half.
Oh, thank you.
bounce shot.
That's a
There
great
you go.
report. And here's exactly what Steve was talking about from the sideline.
Yeah, so here's Surratt just walking his guy down, and then
Boink.
a nice bounce shot. Yep, exactly. Look at that. When you're in close, you want to bounce that inside the crease. When you are a little bit further out, you want to shoot it right on the edge of the circle of the crease, as far as getting as much bottom to top as possible. So that kind of gives you an idea there for you guys out going out and practicing.
Mobusser and Allen again. Duncan McCourt from Zionsville is able to scoop it up. I do want to say, you can't really see him right now, but when we zoom out, you all. Number 1 in blue and white in the middle, that is another strong color combination. It's like the maize and blue almost.
A little,
the Michigan colors.
Michigan colors there.
It's underutilized in India. You got it on the gloves and the helmet. It's very nice looking.
Yeah, coming out of Castle.
Court.
Coming out of Castle High School.
Another Evansville school. And this year, Evansville had 2 teams in the playoffs,
which is a first for them. They've usually had one team kind of notch it, but having 2 is a big step up for that region. So good for them.
Oh, here comes another Duffy. I was going to ask Steve a question in a second, but hold on. We have a second
Another
Duffy
fast break.
streaking across the field, setting up another opportunity. Surratt bounces this one off the post.
And you see that time Surratt did not catch it and step upfield like we saw before. He caught it and just shot it. I think if he takes an extra step upfield, he's going to get a better opportunity to score that. But he was also doing it with his left hand, so I don't know if that was a bit of it.
Here we go, Landon Lawrence.
Another fast break, and
and
bang.
it's Emery.
So that's actually how you do
Avery
it.
Larson, his 3rd goal.
So Avery Larson from Aiden Craig, I love the way he catches that down low and then steps up and turns that corner. That is, for you kids watching out there, that is, first off, you got to grow hair like that. If
He's
you're
got
gonna do that.
He's got a smile
Yeah,
on
he's
too.
got the
He's
smile
enjoying
going
it.
on. He was showing up some fingers. I don't know how many that was before, but he's got the flow going out the back. So, but what we watch here on the replay when he gets that from Aiden Craig. So we get that ball down to him. He turns upfield, so he's going to gain more angle on the goalie, and he's going to change the angle that the slide's coming across from. So that is a textbook finish off of that fast break. Also, those fast breaks hitting the point guy real well. So
That is
nice.
Mobusser from Park Tudor in dark and Nick Davidson from Bloomington South in white.
Oh, here's a quick fast. Oh, good pop forward.
But one of the things for the Evansville schools is when they get in the tournament, they almost inevitably have to travel 2-3 hours to go play anybody.
Correct.
In Central
Well,
Indiana.
yeah, the way it's set up is the 16 teams make the playoffs, and the top 8 teams get home games. So just like this year, Crown Point was able to have a home game. They did not have to make that travel because they finally cracked the top 8 and were able to host a home game in the playoffs. So,
And what an advantage. The first round games are midweek,
Yep.
and being able to let another team travel the long distance to play you. Here's Bellflower planted down. Oh, is it another? It is.
And that was a great
Avery
cross-hander.
Larson.
So those two there with Craig and Larson just finding each other all over the field. Aiden Craig like we said, likes to facilitate there and scores another goal. That's 3 in a row for him. And
they're both juniors. They could do this again next year.
They could do this again this year. Hopefully, those teams will maybe be in the Final Four. But here comes this replay. Watch. He's going to shoot this cross-handed, I think. I think he catches this right-handed, and look at that. He shoots it cross-handed. That's impressive.
That's pretty slick.
So that's just one of those whatever it takes to get it done plays, because you don't practice that. You know, he caught that right-handed and then realized it was on the wrong side of his body and shot that cross-handed. So that's fun to do. So.
And boys, with 15 and a third seconds left, we have a tie game. 7-7.
There you go. The offense from the East stepping up.
Coming up on almost 4:30 time-wise and real clock. We got 10 seconds left in the game. About an hour and a half time will be the beginning of the championship game at 6 o'clock. Right here at Brebeuf.
Whistle blew there. It's going to be 3.8 seconds here, and we're going to see them just touch the box here and then probably have the quarter break, and that's the quarter.
So we're going to the fourth, tied at 7 in the East-West Showcase game here on Indiana SRN. We're always in the game.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
Welcome back, everyone. It is the East-West Showcase game. Jonathan Mathis, Byron Stankus. We're all tied at 7, getting ready for this final quarter. Showcase, and then we'll get all serious again right after this. We get preparation for the state championship game. That'll begin at 6 o'clock.
We're not serious now?
We are almost, but it's a little bit lighter.
We're enjoying, just enjoying the show.
It's a little bit.
I take my enjoyment seriously, so
That's
I thought
good.
maybe that's what we were doing here.
That's good.
So we've got
7-7.
I know, tie game in a showcase. This is exactly what we want to see, and for a showcase thing, we've seen Harmon Surratt showcase his skills. That's what we wanted to see. That's one of the things that we saw Michael Duffy from Chittard showcase his skills. Aiden Craig, we just saw from Heritage Christian showcasing his skill. His skill is to get assists. He's got 5 of them on the game. So we've seen a lot of those. We saw a cross-handed shot here. We've seen errant behind-the-back passes. We've seen clean, fast breaks done very well. So it's exactly what we want to see when you showcase talent, is people showcasing their talent.
And they're doing just that. It is cool being able to see so many people get involved.
Yep, and here's Surratt again. Seems to be pretty unselfish here. I think he's real happy with the stats he's got already. I think he's kind of proved his point. So
he certainly has.
Well, the boys from the South are doing pretty good here and representing pretty well there at Evansville.
Well, this is kind of their moment when you get a little webcast audience. You get to play with against some of the other top players in the state, wrapping around.
And I really like, if you watch Surratt there, he not only does he go in, but then he pulls out a little too.
Oh, nice shot.
Wow. See how he's able to attack, then he pulls himself out, makes the defender take a bad angle, and then attacks him again. We call that a Z dodge because it creates a Z when he does that, and gets a good angle on there. So I like to see that. So right when I thought he was slowing down,
there he is.
Turns around
Picture
and
right
goes
back
goal.
up. There's Harmon Surratt.
There's that number 4, number White. So here we watch this replay. see that coming in at us as he goes in, and then he pulls out. Now the defender lunges at him here.
Here he comes again.
And so then he just blows by the lunging defender and then absorbs the check on the stick, and then is able to take that shot. I think the little bit of that stick check makes it a little bit more difficult for the goalie to see. So.
And black is Logan Mobusser.
Yeah, Logan coached him as well when he was in 8th grade back in the day for True Lacrosse. Really like Logan playing at Park Tudor. He's a fun kid to have.
That was Clayton Street in white.
And
here's Mobusser.
Mobusser actually up with the ball. Yeah. He was like I said, he was a fun kid to coach and really wanted to be a good face-off guy. And I had he and Tony Cassiri on my 8th grade True team, so that was fun to coach. Yeah. So. They're really both good, really good players, and developed into really good players. And I'm going to take 100% of that credit. No, those kids, they were very good. They were very good, and they were both one of those kids that wanted to absorb whatever knowledge you could give them, and are both hard workers. So it's good to see them out there reaping the benefits of that hard work.
Bellflower behind Aiden Craig from Heritage Christian.
Oh,
nice. That was creative.
Creative. The one hand over the goalie flip pass didn't quite make it, but the guy who was flipping to was open if he had gotten it there.
Mobusser.
Is that something Steve Kinney teaches there? The one-handed flip pass.
Well, let's get a report from him. I think. Oh, nice shot.
Yeah, Bellflower.
I think Steve is standing. He's getting ready to go into the pole vault area. You can't see him on the screen, but Steve, is that something you taught?
Believe it or not, it is actually something we practice almost daily. The one-handed and two-handed flips in a drill that we call the JC line drills. Not that we want them to use it in the game, but if they are in a desperate situation, it's acceptable. I wouldn't call that a desperate situation.
It was a creative licensing situation.
Yeah, exactly. And since he has practices, I think it's okay. I was at a rule that you want to do something interesting or creative, you practice it in your yard for a while. When you feel like you're 80%, you can bring it into practice at team practices. Then when you're 80% at team practices, it's going to show up in the game. So that was sort of my rule moving forward when you do something kind of interesting or offbeat or creative.
As a guy who grew up in Western New York, where we have a lot of outdoor hockey rinks, we would play box lacrosse growing up, and box is very tight. Everybody plays offense, everybody plays defense, and creativity is what it's all about. If you watch the college game, the Canadians who play box lacrosse are very creative in their pass attempts.
And that would be very precise, too.
Yeah, they're playing in a lot smaller areas. I don't know, is there any good lacrosse up there in Western New York?
I've heard there's a little bit. There's a school called West Genesee.
Nice
You may have heard of West Genesee. There's even a drill named after it.
I joke because you know that New York, Long Island, upstate New York, Maryland are traditional hotbeds of lacrosse, and just giving a hard time.
No, I like these inside lacrosse jokes. These are very nice. There are people cracking up right now when you drop that one.
Yeah, when it dropped that one.
Hey, is there any good lacrosse in West New York?
People in Long Island
that got me every time.
Would be laughing.
Yeah, I grew up outside of New York City in Hudson Valley, and Hudson Valley lacrosse, as much as New York lacrosse is good, it's not Western New York, it's not Long Island, so we had to really fight for our name. And here's Aiden Richardson. This is something Aiden Richardson here with the ball coming up the field for Noblesville has done all year.
Whoop.
Well, some of that is what he has done as well, unfortunately. But he's just that guy is the one man. He's sort of that one man wrecking crew. You know.
That was Cameron Markley from Argos, number 12 in white. Oh,
well,
hey, timeout.
Yeah, a little timeout there. I think that was a possession timeout. I think that he knew that he was going to run out of bounds. So nice to see Argos represented there.
We're going to take a break. West leads the East 8-7 on the East-West Showcase game here in Indiana SRN. We're always in the game.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Welcome back, everyone. East-West Showcase game here on Indiana SRN. The West leads the East. I want to do a little correction. Avery Larson does not play at Homestead. He's also not number 14 in black. That's Thomas Malzoni with the great hair and the 500 goals that he scored so far.
Well, it was 3 in a row. I don't know about 500, but it was 3 in a row. Yes,
Coming up
Thomas
on
Malzoni. So
let's
give him the credit that he is due. You'll see him walking on the attack. He's starting on the attack for the East team, but the ball is going to be in possession of the West here in white. As you
Harmon
see,
Surratt.
Boy, Surratt just beats one guy, gets the second guy, is beating the second guy. Boy, he just see how he constantly is going in and out and in and out as opposed to left and right and left and right. That's one of those things. If you're a young player out there watching and you want to be a Dodger, you do not want to go left and right versus your defender. You want to go in and out. You want to go towards the goal and then back away and then towards the goal again. That is much harder to defend as we get a long pull with a shot.
Oh, Ryan Hunt, nice shot.
Wow. There's a showcase piece you want to see.
Bloomington
a long
North.
stick. Yeah, Bloomington North representing right there. Running coast to coast. Outstanding.
That ties the game at 8 with 8 minutes and 15 left.
That defense did not react to somebody thinking that he would shoot, and he gets a good head of steam with a long pole. It's got to be an exciting moment for him, huh?
It should be. Here's a replay of it.
Let's take a look at this. As he comes ripping in. Oh, look at that. And that was he was shooting that. That happened so fast. I think the defense felt the same way about that. He got in from about 15 yards and just let that thing fly.
Poor Kevin Smith in goal. He just dropped his head back, went,
Yeah, you don't
man.
want to. Yeah, there's only one thing worse than having a long pole score on you, and that's having the goalie score on you. So we almost saw that. So it looks like we've got the game
Working
underway
across
a
the
little bit.
midfield, and he just spun around McCourt from Zionsville. Feeding it up was Martin Holota from Avon. That's a little rival school. That's an up-and-coming conference, is the Hoosier Crossroads Lacrosse Conference. There's Hamilton Southeastern is there, Zionsville, obviously a historically powerful team, and a couple up-and-comers, Noblesville and Westfield.
Well, when I was at Noblesville, we started that conference with Matt McEnroe when he was at Fishers. So you had Fishers, HSE, Westfield, Zionsville, and Noblesville were first before Brownsburg and Avon had come on. And the first 2 years we were there, every one of the teams had made the playoffs.
And you got some oomph on that one.
So it's Hoosier Crossroads Conference is a stout conference. So Avon and Brownsburg stepping into that are going to have their work cut out for them.
Especially with the currently reigning state champion in that conference, and we'll see who becomes the new state champion later tonight, 6 p.m. Hamilton Southeastern and Cathedral will be playing each other right here.
And Zionsville has historically won a couple of state championships too, so they're not too far off the mark. They're usually a top 5 or 6 team every year. So and made it to the Final Four a bit, just not in the last couple of years.
Here is the Eagle. McCourt feeds in front, and
look at that save! Oh my gosh!
Melzoni bounced it right off the mask of the goalie.
Boy, we got his name right, and then he can't score, huh?
That's our fault.
That's all right, but he still has great hair, so that's important.
That's true.
Yeah, he's got the flow going.
It's really he's winning the day.
He's winning
regardless
the day.
of whether
Yeah.
he's been identified right or not.
He will,
I do feel bad about that family,
he will-
Malzoni family. Hopefully they're all here in attendance.
Yeah. But he does win
That
the
was a
lettuce
long
award.
night.
Does win the lettuce award. So, as we see a scrubble here, that's we're going to see how the referees call this because I don't know if that's a goal.
Grant Stern,
Yeah.
very advantageous.
Yeah, when the
Didn't
goalie
count
has,
what he tried.
He did not, but when the goalie has possession and is in the crease like that, you can't touch him at all, and he's got that clamped under there, and they were kind of whacking at him a little bit, so that'll be no goal. But
Number 4 in black is Caleb Casper Turner. He's from Snyder, Fort Wayne.
Fort
Give
Wayne
him a
Snyder,
shout out.
one of those teams. They have been around a while. They were one of the earlier teams out of Fort Wayne, but haven't seen them much of late. So nice to see them represented here.
5 minutes, 43 seconds remaining in the showcase game. Been a fun game, fun day.
It's a 1-goal game here, and I think the West here has got an opportunity to tie this thing up. I mean, wouldn't it like to?
Ooh, almost in the crease.
We'd like this to be a. Oh, he tried a one-hander. That thing fell out.
Here comes the Snyder man.
There he is. It looks like Brownsburg fighting for it.
Bellflower is able to come up with it.
Bellflower. Yeah, doesn't seem any worse for wear.
On the purple on purple action here between him
and the Bulldog from Brownsburg, yeah.
Trey Gaiman.
Yeah, Brownsburg's building there. Those dogs are looking good.
Oh, nice shot by Anderson.
Oof, that was an excellent
10 to 8.
Wow, 10 to 8. That was a nice little heater, a little right off the hip. He was able to shoot around the defender. Smart little play there.
Like going to the different angle too from what he's normally been shooting at today.
Yeah, changing angles on your shot. Yeah, changing angles on your shot. Whether your stick is low and you shoot high, or your stick is high and you shoot low, or you throw a bouncer. Those are the things you want to do to score a goal. So changing angles, changing planes is what you're going to do. I mean, you're going to watch him here. He's going to. This replay comes up here. We're going to be able to see him. He makes this little bit of a split dodge, takes it left-handed. He gets his stick low and then shoots high. So
he had to get that under Duffy stick.
He did. He's shooting around the defender, so that helps as a screen. He dropped his stick low, so the goalie is going to start to move low when he's looking at that shot coming at him. And then when he shoots it high, he's going against the goalie's momentum. So as soon as you drop your stick, the goalie is going to start matching that and come down as well. And then shoot low to high is a tough one to get.
I want to give a little shout out to 13 Anderson, or we're gonna hold that thought.
No, it's a timeout blue here, so I think that they called a timeout there.
We're gonna take a break, and I'm gonna have a astute observation next on Indiana SRN. We're always in the game.
Today's games brought to you by Shin Technology Service Corporation. Technology is about humans and not about machines. Dave and his crew has provided 27 years of software needs. Give them a call. Shin Technology Service Corporation. You may reach him by phone at 317-545-3650 or shintechnology.com. For more information, contact Dave, 317-545-3650.
Hello, my name is Sean Kroll, and I've been a part of the Indiana SRN family for the last 9 years. Last year, we streamed a record 326 sporting events around Central Indiana. All the other guys broadcast basketball and football, but we at Indiana SRN also air volleyball, softball, baseball, and even golf. But we need your help. To continue our mission, please help us by contacting Coach at indianasrn.org. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Welcome back, everyone. Eric Allen for Carmel, working it for the West squad, down 2 to the East, who's had to rally back in this game. They got down pretty mightily early, but then dominated that third quarter.
Yeah, when we had left, there was a timeout that was called, and it was a quickie timeout. It's one of those trick plays that that the coaches call, where they'll call a timeout, and then they break the huddle instantaneously, don't allow the other team to get in there, just in order to maintain possession. We were unaware of that trick, which is, I don't know, that's it. So we've had a possession go from the East to the West, so now the West is going to try and climb back into this here.
Or will they? There we go.
So you were saying you had an observation?
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
game.
He's off the camera right now. But
okay.
Something I like is when schools match up the different helmets of their different athletic teams to be similar. So
Okay.
Center Grove, I think it looks cool.
That does look cool.
You see some colleges do that. think Penn State does, Notre Dame does, Navy does, but
Michigan.
it's just So I think it's just a cool matchup when you're able to do it, whether it's hockey or lacrosse or any of the other states where you have to wear a helmet the whole time.
Yeah, and I think one of the issues here is how long the program's been around, because some of these teams are club teams, so they're going to have issues where they're funding this themselves, so they're going to get something sort of more like a generic white. But then as varsity programs come along and they're through the athletic department, they're going to get those helmets that are going to match up a little bit better. So
you got the school ones.
Yeah.
Like Carmel's is sharp.
Yep.
Garin got new ones this year. Garin Catholic,
They
the
did.
purple ones, those purple and yellow and gold, they were new.
So yeah, it really depends on the program whether it's
Surratt.
Well, Surratt in the middle, getting
Yeah.
ragged by the
Oh, he's
Snyder
got a
fellow,
moment.
and he's got it.
Ooh.
Oof.
At Heritage Christian, you may notice that a lot of teams wear black, even though the official school colors are blue and white.
Yeah, they do wear black all the time. Why is that?
The lacrosse
Steve
team
Kinney?
started that. We were originally not part of the school. We were a club program, and so we kind of wanted something a little bit separate. And so we went black. And then as we got adopted by the school has unofficially adopted the color.
Oh, nice shot. Duncan McCourt from Zionsville. Or excuse me, no, that's the West team.
Yeah, that's
that
Tanner.
is Tanner Boston from Perry Meridian.
Tanner Boston, yeah. Tanner Boston, Perry Meridian. That's the first time we've mentioned Perry
There he
Meridian.
is. Yeah, that's the first
Look
time
at
I
that.
mentioned
So
him.
Good for him. That's, I think, a second-year program there at Perry Meridian. So good for that. I mean, and that's like a legit lacrosse play, so that's awesome.
You were talking about colors or something.
Yeah, at Heritage.
Here's the replay. We're gonna interrupt you one more time. Look at this.
Look at this. He just comes by, a little dodge, sidearm, and that's from what's about 12-yard sidearm shot. That's legit lacrosse, like there.
I was wondering that though about why does all the Heritage Christian teams wear black?
Well, even if their football helmets now are black with chrome blue face masks.
Yeah.
Well, that was a copy of the lacrosse team's old
there you go.
helmets.
That's the reverse.
And as soon as they got them, we changed helmets. I felt a little bit bad. But yeah, lacrosse has for a long time at Heritage. It is changing because, well, I was there. I've been a very big advocate of the football program and players playing two sports, like Aiden Craig, who did not play until this year. He is a football player, also a defensive end.
Oh, nice shot.
But the lacrosse team would have more players than the football team for a long time at Heritage.
Yeah, Trey Grammond from Brownsburg there, so nice. Brownsburg representing.
That's another team who's done pretty well match up the school coach. Another one we were talking about Center Grove. Here comes the replay, but Penn High School they've matched up.
Yes.
Peyton Vorties, his helmet looks exactly like that. That shade of gold is exactly what they were in the football team. The replay
And I
upcoming,
think that's a function of how much the school actually embraces that and how much the team embraces school. We have a tie game.
We do 10-10.
Look at that with 1:36 to go.
Oh, Bloomington South Park Tudor action here on the X.
Are we going to overtime?
I don't think so.
I don't know about that. Maybe. It's always a possibility, I suppose.
I think they're going to call it a draw, to be honest with you, if that were to happen.
Might not.
I don't know that they want to mess up the schedule for the championship.
Oh,
look at this ride from the back.
Coming from
from
down
north,
south.
From north from the south, coming making a play.
Circling
I don't know,
out
does that
player
work?
Here's Surratt.
Surratt, he's
wrapping
gonna turn that
around.
corner. He'll get.
He
better
sets
feed.
him up. And a goal
What a
for
great
Jack
play.
Higginson from Evansville North.
What a pretty play. And that hole happened because Higginson from North did such a good job riding that defender, got that ball free. They were able to create transition out of that.
And you see Higginson there in the green helmet.
Yeah, so that green helmet there, that the boy from the South plays for North, getting the goal.
North from the South.
Or
Here's
South
the
from the
replay.
North. Yeah, look at that. And that's just unselfish play from Surratt, right? I mean, Surratt was able to draw both guys, dump that over. Higginson be able to finish and get rewarded for his strong ride up at the other end of the field to turn that ball over from the defenders. Excellent play. Excellent play.
Coming up on almost a minute left in this showcase game, and then we'll get set for the championship later.
I am excited. I am excited about this championship game, and I'm impressed with the play that we've seen out here, especially from the guys down in Evansville. Done a real good job.
They've really shown up.
Yeah, some of the known quantities we know, whether it's the Indy area and that sort of thing. But but good representation from Evansville.
That's for sure. Inside a minute. 54 seconds left.
Let's see if we're going to get this thing tied back up.
Here's Anderson with the helmet that matches the football team. Behind Melzoni.
Melzoni trying to fight through and gets it off.
Oh,
excellent
nice
save. Wow, Kevin Smith, big save. That might have done it.
Trying to turn defense into offense.
Offense, defense. Here comes that fast break. Blows by the point guy.
Oh,
and
there's
another
a nice
save on the other end.
Surratt. And he adds another. And
Wow.
there's two.
Boy,
Two-goal lead with 22 seconds to go.
I'm impressed. That kid is everything we were expecting, and at least in my case, a little bit more. That's Armin Surratt making something out of nothing out of there.
A great opportunity to see him play one last time here. And
right, but Kevin Smith with just an outstanding save. Outlets that up to Trey Gammon from Brownsburg. Brownsburg, they make that play down into that fast break, drives by the point, sliding, gets it down to Surratt. Surratt finishes it. So pretty lacrosse all the way around. Not perfect, but pretty.
22 seconds to go. So we got one more face-off in. We'll see if we get another shot.
Probably not. Mo Basser gets out of the traffic with this. See if he can hold on to it. Here comes Logan. He's going to shoot that. Yep. Sometimes
we
you
got
can
at least
see,
one shot.
Sometimes you could see that the look in their eye that there may be four guys open. You just know that guy's shooting.
He's going for it.
Yeah, I knew Logan was doing that.
8 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
And there's
3.
The
2.
takeaway by the other Duffy.
And 1.
Martin Duffy
and
with the takeaway.
That will do it for the East-West Showcase game. The winner is the West, 12-10. Here in Indiana SRN, we're going to get set for the championship game coming up in a little bit. We got a little more than an hour and 7 minutes before the championship game. Quick reactions from both you and Steve Byron, starting with you. What really impressed you about this game?
What really impressed me right off the top was the offense that we saw out of the Evansville crew. We saw representation from Memorial, we saw them from Wrights, we saw it from North, and they all contributed in a positive way. And they were as advertised, along with Michael Duffy in the goal.
Yeah, overall, for me, the biggest part of this was getting to watch Jalen Carr play the entire game in goalie, and up until the very end, played a fantastic game. We didn't give him enough recognition because there was so much going on, but congratulations to him and that whole Leo program. And he will be back next year as he's a junior.
Yeah, and of course we want a special shout out to Tom Melzoni, because not only did he score those 3 in a row, real good there, but I think he wins the Best Hair Award, so that's a huge deal.
Certainly, and kind of last a thing to look out for the championship game in a little more than an hour's time. A thought from both of you. Steve, do you want to go first this time? Thought for the championship.
My thought for the championship is, as I said before, it's going to be adjustments. It's going to be halftime adjustments and game adjustments. My gut says Cathedral. My heart says HSC.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, for me, I early in the season, seeing the vacating seniors of 13 seniors, 11 whom were huge contributors last year for HSC, I'm really excited to see that they were able to come back with a really young squad, even though they are got leadership out of Cam Smith, so I'm excited to see that. We all are looking for the Bedich-Kasiri matchup, and it's also nice to see Cathedral back in there with transfers from Carmel like Needlinger and Dunwoody helping their squad. Dunwoody transferring in from Westfield 2 years ago, and Needlinger from Carmel last year, and Matt Denon. We also have another matchup that's going to be interesting. Matt Denon, the junior, when he was a freshman, was the tournament MVP, and Ryan Kemp last year as a freshman was the tournament MVP. So also be looking for who is going to be the young gun or the unsung player that's going to step up in that game. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
All right, well, thank you very much, fellas. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with this shot. That'll do it for the East-West Showcase game. Coming up next at 6 o'clock here on Indiana SRN, the IHSLA Championship. Cathedral, Hamilton Southeastern. Next here on Indiana SRN, we're always in the game.